All right. Welcome to episode 1 of the Gabriel Bennett podcast. I'm Gabriel Bennett. I have been wanting to build this for quite some time now, and I figured there's no perfect time to start, so this is it. Let's do it. So, for the first episode, I've got my friend here, Ethan, with me. We go back quite a few years, meeting each other back in our senior year of high school. And I felt he was the most fitting first guest. So, Ethan, welcome to the podcast. It is a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Gabe.
So, we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to let Ethan start us off. Ethan, why don't you take us down the journey of how we came to meet each other?
Yeah, so Gabe and I, we actually did this program, this advanced high school program for high school students who are more advanced, and they had a whole application process, interview process. I believe we had to write a paper or two also to get into this
I think
program.
we did, yeah.
It's an advanced program called the EPIC program, and that is for emergency management, informatics, cybersecurity, and homeland security. So we had the joyous day of spending 3 hours every morning in a college classroom with 7 of us total and our professor, Dr. Frazier. And we got to learn about a whole bunch of interesting stuff from homeland security to emergency management to cybersecurity to 3D printing and a whole bunch of other cool technologies that normal high school students would have access to over at SUNY Albany. And Gabe and I met through that program, got close with the whole class, and we've been friends ever since and went to college together, and now we are doing a podcast together. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool
no,
stuff.
it truly was one of the best experiences. I think it shaped my entire life. It gave me some great friends. It gave me great experience, and it propelled me into the field that I'm in now. So I'm forever grateful to the program. Um, Looking back, did you expect us to stay as close as we have to this day?
100% I would. We all were very close when we were in the classroom together. We actually went on vacation with each other only after knowing each other for probably 6 months. So we said, actually, it was only 3 months because
Yeah,
we
it
booked
was.
it 3 months in.
It was pretty quick.
We booked it 3 months in, and then we said, okay, for high school spring break, we're going to go to Cape Cod. And the 7 of us got in 2 cars and drove all the way to Cape Cod, barely knowing each other. And we came out better friends of it because of it.
Absolutely. It was a great experience. So let's dive into the next question. So, what would you say has been on your mind recently? What have you been thinking about? What's been keeping you busy?
Definitely keeping me busy. I have a lot of projects that I like. I own a Honda three wheeler, and that's kind of been my biggest entrepreneur lately. Fixing it up, getting it ready to go. There's a automotive show or an ATV show coming up in May, and I've been prepping for that. But on a
Nice.
bigger, more like academic career, I graduate in December, so I've been thinking about jobs, employment, and job market's not looking the best for us Homeland Security emergency management majors.
No,
right
it's
now.
not right now. It's not looking great.
It's a little bit of a stressor, but I got to keep my head looking. I still have a little bit of time, not as much time as you, but
True.
that's what I'm doing right now. Job search and having fun, I'll say.
Yeah, absolutely. We're continuing to grow as people. We're looking for jobs. We're trying to see what's out there for us. We're figuring things out as we go. That's the beauty of being young. We've got plenty of time. We're not forced to figure things out yet. We're going to try new things. We're going to fail. We're going to learn. We're going to continue to grow. But hopefully, we end up where we want to be someday. That's the hope, right? So, going off of that, do you think most people our age specifically know what they want right now?
It's probably a 50-50 split. You probably have a good portion of the people who graduate high school know what they want to do. But then you have the portion that kind of know like the area they're interested in, and then you have the percentage of people who have no clue what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
As long as you have like a general idea of what you want to do, you should be pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of different avenues people could go down, but it's also okay not to know what you want to do.
No, I agree. I think that a lot of people think they know what they want to do, but all they really know is what sounds good. I think that a lot of people confuse comfort with what they actually want. And sometimes you have to figure things out by doing things and realizing what you do and don't want. Like for me, example, I had an internship experience last semester that I was really excited to venture into. I did an interview, I did an application, I went through the whole process and was given a sample to kind of check out this internship and give them a sample of a product that they wanted. But I realized shortly after spending a few hours on it that this was not worth my time. This is not what I want to do. I've come too far and I've worked way too hard to sit behind a desk doing some sort of analytical work for the rest of my life. So I didn't even want to bother going down that path. I closed that door pretty much right after I opened it, and I have no regrets in doing so.
Yeah.
So
You were telling me about that experience, and it was a lot of work for a college student to do. It was
Yeah.
full-time employee work that they expected to do in like very unrealistic time frames.
yeah, absolutely. When would you say that you feel the most locked in? I think for me, I think that when your routine is right and you're stacking small wins every day, it's eventually going to get you to where you want to be. If you show up every day, I think the results don't have a choice. Going to the gym, doing your schoolwork, showing up to your job, whatever it is, just staying consistent with the small things in life, I think that's the most important thing to get you to be where you want to be down the line. So when would you say that you feel the most locked in?
When I feel the most locked in is when there's that tangible goal, something that I can like feel or like very visible to me. So for example, I got my Eagle Scout back in February of 2023, and I had enough time to do it well before my 18th birthday. So for those of you who don't know, an Eagle Scout has to finish the project and submit the paperwork before his or her 18th birthday. But I was a little dismotivated. I lost track, and I had a very inspiring phone call from a close mentor of mine at the time. And he said, Ethan, you need to get going. You've done all this work. You can't just stop now. You're this close. You got to remember the end goal of that Eagle Scout project, that Eagle Scout award, the benefit to the community that you're giving your time, effort, money, and resources to. So when you have that physical, tangible goal of helping someone, or even like physical, like seeing improvements in like a property. For my Eagle project, I did a bunch of like property maintenance and clearing and all that fun stuff. And to see that visually be done, it's motivating. Like phase one was do all the physical stuff. And like you mentioned, breaking everything up into small chunks, kind of relating that to my Eagle project. I broke it up into small chunks. Like, okay, I did paperwork. I finished this paperwork today. I'm going to coordinate this resources tomorrow. Then the next day, okay, I'm going to put together signups. Okay, I'm going to contact company X, Y, and Z to get equipment, donations. And when you break it up like that to accomplish a big goal, that's what motivates you. Getting little by little done to then see the big project, the big tangible thing that you're working towards. That's when you feel the most locked in. Like you got to give yourself a little bit of success towards that end goal.
Yeah.
Then you feel a lot better.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to taste that success. So, do you think that discipline is something that's built, or do you think that some people are just like wired and born with discipline?
Some people, it's a split. I think part of it is kind of inherited. Look at, your family line, you see where you come from, so that some of the discipline, some of the hardships your family have been through, they instill that discipline into you. And then also part of it is learned. So you have to go struggle a little bit, kind of fall down a few times and get that discipline back and realize, okay, I got to show up every day. I got to keep doing what I need to do and staying committed to something.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think some people might naturally lean towards being disciplined, but I think the discipline mostly gets built through your habits and especially your influences growing up.
For sure.
And a lot of discipline also comes from the keeping the promises that you made to yourself. I mean, it's one thing to say you're going to do something, but you actually need to follow through and show up every day regardless of how you feel. Those are the most important days. The days where you really don't want to be doing what you're doing, those are the days that matter.
The days you're
the most.
down, not feeling good, you need to. Those are the days you need to show up even more.
Showing up even when you don't want to is extremely important. But I think that people usually become disciplined when life forces them to, or
I would agree.
When they get serious enough. Yeah,
I would agree 100% with that. Sometimes the trials and tribulations are what needed to kind of show what type of person you are. There's a lot of people who are like, I want to be better. I want to be more disciplined. Well, you got to go. Sometimes you just got to live it, and you got to go through some stuff. You got to go through something hard, whether it's a project or you're going to the gym and you're struggling to, stay on a diet or go even show up to the gym. Sometimes it's just a small, you got to keep going, especially those days where you feel like, man, I don't want to do anything. Like I'm procrastinating a presentation right now, but
yeah, me too.
I sat down. I sat down before this podcast and hammered a little bit of it out, and I'm like, okay, I got to keep going. Like small little win and success. Like you got to keep pushing.
Yep.
You got to keep going, And that's the biggest thing about discipline, just showing up and doing a little bit. A lot of people say 1% better every day, and that's a very good way to start. Just the small little wins.
Yeah, and that's the goal. It's just getting better than you were the previous day. And that's all you really can do. The goal is just be a little bit better than you were yesterday. So, going off what we just said about influences, do you think that your environment shapes you more than you realize? Because I, for one, know that the people around you quietly affect your mindset, your standards, and even the little habits in your everyday life. So, you do think that your environment shapes you more than you realize?
For sure. When I was in high school, I was on the high school wrestling team, and being in that environment, it's a more physically demanding and mentally demanding sport. You're put through a lot more. But being around those kids that you wrestled with who have been put in that similar environment, you learn very quickly more resilience. They help make you a stronger, better person every single day. You're showing up, you're working out, you're getting stronger. Sometimes you're cutting weight, sometimes you're sucking 10 pounds in a few days, and those guys are there to motivate you and to support you. And that environment builds a camaraderie that helps, make you a better person. Just like another organization that Gabe and I are both a part of, it's a professional development organization. And before I started that organization, I wasn't really sure, professionally how to handle myself, what attire to wear, resumes, talking to people, networking. And then being a part of that organization and eventually becoming e-board and more involved in teaching future generations at UAlbany how to do this stuff, this networking, this collaboration, being more professional, you're forced to develop into those more positive characteristics. Where I can say also being in a bad group also influences you more too, to deviate towards that bad path. I think there's some sociology term that's something, there's like the labeling theory.
Yeah, I probably should know this. I'm a sociology minor, but
there's like some
I honestly couldn't tell you.
There's some labeling theory that if you label yourself with a specific group or a specific type of person, you're more likely to become that person. So
that's true.
You can use that in the good way, focusing on, I'm a professional, I'm going to teach people how to do better. Or you can label yourself more like, I'm going to go do some nefarious stuff that I shouldn't do. It's all about how you present yourself in your mind. That's what I found, at least.
Yeah, I think that your environment definitely can make your growth easier or make your bad habits feel normal. You don't want to hang around with people that make your bad habits normalized, because then you just tend to fall into that pit, and it's very difficult to get out of. And like you said, the camaraderie with your wrestling team, having people around you that hold you accountable, showing up every day regardless, is extremely important. I, for one, understand that because recently I started going to the gym with my dad. My father had 3 heart attacks, and then he had open heart surgery, and it was a little bit of a journey to get him back on his feet and get the ball rolling, to help him build a body that was extremely strong and even stronger than it's ever been. So I, for one, understand it. I go to the gym with my dad every single day. We hold each other accountable, and it's father-son time. It's quality time, and it's also time spent getting stronger and getting better and getting healthier together.
And building that discipline, too.
Building the discipline, exactly.
Inherited discipline, like we were talking about.
Exactly, and no better person to do it with than my dad. So
even New Visions, touching on that point, when New Visions, the EPIC program, when Gabe and I were in it, and a bunch of our other friends, we grew a lot more closer academically. We were much more advanced than your general high school kids.
Yeah.
Within a short time, I noticed going to high school, I'm getting such a different education. I'm learning so much more. I'm pretty much a college student while these kids are still in high school. And it was kind of crazy it was very interesting to see how that different environment, that more advanced environment, stressed me to change for the better and to be more prepared for the future.
Yeah, and it got us ready for what was to come.
It did.
I'm so grateful that we had that kind of stepping stone to make that transition easier for us.
It made the college transition a lot easier.
Yeah, so much easier.
We were writing college papers in our first month or so.
Yeah, we were doing papers, we were doing presentations. I, for one, it forced me to get out of my shell. I came into that program super shy. Beforehand, it was really tough to get a full conversation out of me. But I was really kind of just forced to, hey, get up to the whiteboard, present on, a transnational criminal organization or some sort of government agency, tell us about it, tell us what they do, the history and information surrounding that topic. You didn't really get a choice. You had to get up there and give a quick 5-minute briefing, and it got me to come out of my shell and be more comfortable with myself. So
Yeah,
it
first-
definitely made the transition easier because we do a lot of that public speaking and presentation stuff in college.
Yeah, I think one of our first days or within the first week, we were researching three-letter agencies to then present to the class.
Yeah.
Like I remember there's like a national health. I don't quote me on this. But I think I
I
still
don't
have the
know.
picture of one of our classmates writing like all the agencies up on the whiteboard for us. But yeah, we were doing high level education in high school, which helped make us more disciplined and ready for college.
Absolutely. So, what kind of people do you think influence you the most? Maybe specific people, if you could think of any, maybe just kinds of people, types of people. Who influences you
I
on a
would
general level?
General level, people where I want to be, kind of, both hobbies and life. Like there's this YouTuber who I watch who does a lot of three-wheeler content, and he does a lot of collections and all that fun collecting, restoring, and he's kind of like he's a cool guy. Like one day I'd want to be there, like part of my hobby life, not work life. Us Americans, side note, we have too much dedication to our work.
True. We
And
don't enjoy life enough.
Europeans, there's a quote that like Europeans work to live and Americans live to work.
Wow.
So as part of like my life, not working, three-wheelers are going to be part of my hobbies as my future. They're really cool to me. They're really fun. They're also really dangerous. You can tip over pretty easy.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can break
sure.
them really easy too. Not fun, but he's like, this guy he's got a following and he's pretty inspirational. I actually bought my three-wheeler from him. He was really cool, but he's a cool guy who I aspire to be like because he's built a community around a like-minded thing and has fostered interaction and growth in that community. More on a professional level, kind of some of the people who I've had internships with. I did an internship with the state, and a lot of those guys were good people. They were committed. They had good merit, and makes me want to be more like them. There's some other people, like my dad inspires me. I want to be more like my dad.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely want to be as close to my dad as I can. So
Yeah, family success. My uncle too. My uncle's a hard worker. My uncle is a business owner. He runs a diner. It's good heart, good work ethic. He's very dedicated, and he's someone I want to be more like. His work ethic and dedication to his craft, I could definitely take from that.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that the people that I think influence me the most are, you see people online, but they're not always trustworthy or the best role models for being influential.
They're
There's
not always
definitely-
the most honest people too.
They're not. They're not. And sometimes they do have mass followings and young men or women, but traditionally young men fall into the wrong path of following the wrong individual, portraying the wrong message, but is kind of masked as the right message, unfortunately. But I think the most important thing is to be influenced by people that are consistent, not just impressive, not just showing off, luxury goods, fast cars, whatever it is, people that actually do what they say, people that actually live with that discipline and direction, and people that make you think bigger than you actually are and make you expect more out of yourself. Like me personally, I recently, not recently, but I guess a few years, I followed and still do former Navy SEAL David Goggins. You see the clips of him on TikTok. I read his book called Can't Hurt Me. One of the best books I've read recently.
He talks a lot about the discipline and mindset. I think I read his first book. Is that You Can't Hurt Me?
Yep.
I think I started his second one, but it's very inspirational. It talks about mindset and dedication, kind of like what we're touching on today. But it's a great read. Definitely recommend it.
Absolutely recommend. Yeah.
But it's all about mindset. Kind of this. David Goggins ran an ultra marathon, I believe it's called. It's 150 miles.
Yeah. Something like that.
Roughly 150 miles.
I couldn't imagine running that far.
Yeah, his feet-
it's insane.
His feet were blistered. I think his feet were actually broken,
Sheesh.
or sprained. I'm not 100% sure. He
Yeah, I think
sustained
you're
a
right
lot
about
of
that, yeah.
injuries on that run, and he was like, his body was quitting on him, but his mind was sharp, and he was still in it mentally, and he finished the race. I think he placed high too.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I want to say he placed second place in one of those big races.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things I heard recently was even if your body doesn't feel capable, your mind is. Your mind always is. Your body can feel like it can't do it, but your mind knows it can. So you kind of need to override what your body says and listen to your brain and just do it anyways, even if it's something crazy.
Yeah. Like that time I convinced you to do a rope swing.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta live. You gotta live a little bit. You gotta have fun, and
This guy
sometimes you
Gabe
gotta
over
take
here.
risks.
This guy Gabe over here was we're hanging out with one of our other friends, and Gabe was. I'm like, this random guy was like showing us this rope swing. And I'm like, I'm gonna send it, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And Gabe was like freaking out. He's like, bro, I'm scared. I'm like, bro, you gotta live. You gotta do it. Mind over matter. Like you gotta it's not that bad. It might hurt a little bit because we're jumping on like 20, 30 feet in the air, but you know what? It's fun, and he ended up loving it.
Yeah, you gotta live a little bit. It was fun. I'm so glad I did it. I think I got up and did it 1 or 2 or 3 more times, something like that.
Yeah.
It was fun. I absolutely would do it again, and we got to do it more this summer. So,
Amen.
moving on. What's something that you believe now that most people would probably disagree with? Maybe a hot take, maybe an unpopular opinion.
All right, hot take. College isn't as worth it as it was a few years ago. College has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And personally, if I would have known, well, let me start off by saying, and Gabe can attest to this, freshman year, I think halfway through my first semester, I already talked about dropping out.
Mm-hmm.
And college wasn't for me. And the only reason I really went to college was because of the New Visions program that Gabe and I were involved in. But if I were to do it differently, I would not go the college route. It's debt, it's time, and you don't really see, for me, like I talked about earlier, the physical, tangible reward. It takes a while. I think I would have went more like blue collar. I think I probably would have went to the local community college near us, did a degree in electrical, and would have went and started working after 2 years, because college is useful for some specific fields, like to become a doctor, to become a nurse, to become a lawyer. But if you're someone who doesn't know exactly what you want to do,
Yeah.
go explore other fields. Don't go the traditional college route. Go see what's blue collar is about, because there's some good money in blue collar.
No, I think that's a super, super valid take. I think that you should not go to college if you're not 100% sure that you want to do that. I mean, if you're going in with just an open mind, trying to figure it out as you go, it's probably not the best idea.
And a lot of the electives and gen eds are just a waste of time.
Such a waste of time, a waste of money.
Like you're spending you're spending, depending on what school you go to, a lot of money on an education, and you probably study like your major maybe half the time.
Yeah, not even
Not
sometimes.
even half the time.
I mean, you're getting credits for your major, but it doesn't really feel like your major.
And it feels like you're just wasting time doing useless work. It's just pushing paper, and it's just, I probably would have been more rewarded with going blue collar, doing a 2-year program, and going out into the field and making some money.
Absolutely.
Plus, electrical is not going anywhere anytime soon, because AI can't do electrical.
Yeah, AI cannot take over those jobs, so those jobs are safe.
Maybe when they develop robot technology and AIs get into that.
Yeah, exactly. So, what motivates you when you don't particularly feel motivated?
Probably what I'm working towards.
The end goal.
The end goal.
Just seeing it at the end of the tunnel.
The end goal, seeing the potential benefits, seeing the vision, kind of having a vision of it in my head. Like I have some projects personal projects I've worked on that, I spent a year working on, but like chunking it up slowly, seeing the vision, the uses I can do, having people come see it and be like, wow, Ethan, this is really cool stuff. Like seeing the visions come true. Like if I'm slacking on, I was slacking on this other project, and my parents be like, Ethan, this is a cool thing that you're doing. You need to continue going forward with it, because once it's built, you're going to be amazed at yourself. And you're going to be like, man, I did this. And that was a motivator to keep going. It's the end goal, and being like, I did this. I accomplished this. I did this by myself. I learned the skills by myself to get this done. It's probably the end goal and the skills you learn along the way. What about you, bud?
I mean, I think for me, I'm a very routine-oriented person, so I think that routine and obligation are the priority rather than the emotion. I think that even if I wake up and I don't feel like doing something, I know it needs to get done, and I know I want to put it on the back burner, but you can't do that. That's no way to live. That's going to cause me to end up like the rest of the country, the other 95%. And we want to be better than that. And we need to live like we are already. Otherwise, we're never going to get there. So I think that for me, you also need to think about where you'll be if you keep procrastinating, if you keep slipping, if you keep not showing up when you're supposed to. You're going to end up like a lot of other people that had unfulfilled potential. And that's not where I want to end up. So I think that motivates me to keep moving forward. But the idea that not every day needs motivation, every day just needs some sort of action and some sort of step towards your end goal.
That 1% better every day is huge.
Exactly.
You got to have small victories that add up to big victories. Mm-hmm. Keep your eye on the prize.
So, do you think people avoid having uncomfortable conversations?
I would say so. Generally speaking, we don't have enough uncomfortable conversations, that need to be had, whether you disagree with someone or whether you agree with someone or just about life, or like if you got your buddy and, you see him slipping, failing on his goals, like Gabe, for example, and says he wants to, gain 10 pounds of muscle mass, just all theoretical. Let's say
that would be nice.
He wants to gain 10 pounds of muscle mass.
Yep.
And bulk up, and I see him slacking, and I'm like, Gabe, what are you doing? You got to have those uncomfortable conversations to keep each other in check. Real friends will be able to be like, listen, you're not doing your goal. You're not contributing towards your goal. You told me you want to do this. Get in gear. Get it done. Mm-hmm. Stop slacking. Go to the gym. Bulk up on your protein.
Yep.
And get swole. Summer's coming.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of a real friendship. I think that a lot of respect in a relationship, like a great friendship like me and Ethan have, comes from saying what actually needs to be said, not sugarcoating it, and sometimes being a little bit tough on the other one and holding them accountable. That's just what makes a friendship a true friendship,
Or even professionally, like if you see one of like your peers struggling, sometimes you got to be like, listen, you're slacking, get it together. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes the harshness is good. No fluff, no fluff, and straight to the point. So there's no room for misinterpretation.
Yeah, and I also think
keep going.
Yeah, and I also think that people avoid having uncomfortable conversations because they would rather protect their comfort than face that kind of tension. But the truth is that avoiding hard conversations usually just makes things worse later down the line. So you need to have those hard conversations now.
Yeah. Like Gabe was slacking on getting this podcast going.
I was.
I had to tell him, get it in gear, bud. We got to have this podcast.
We got to have this podcast, and we finally got it started.
Gabe and I have been talking about doing a podcast for a while now.
Yeah.
Gabe and I were looking the bowl and, do like a whole like soundboard and all like the fancy stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, man, we almost pulled the trigger
a
few months ago.
Yeah, we kept proposing ideas. We had a spreadsheet going made by you.
We did.
We really didn't know where to start.
We had a budget going. We had the itemized list. We had everything ready to go. Yep. And then we just, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just procrastinated and did not pull the trigger.
We
got busy with school. We got busy with life. But, I mean, even that's just an excuse, too.
Yeah.
We could have done it.
We could have done it.
But I'm to blame a little bit.
Yeah. We were worried about budget.
We're worried about budget. That's true.
Because we were looking to spend like roughly $1,500 on a setup.
Yeah, and that's a lot of commitment, and that's a lot to ask for two college kids with, maybe not in the best financial situation to go spending that kind of money right now. We got a lot of other stuff to pay for.
We're gonna spend on our vacation coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time though.
Yeah.
So, moving on to my last question for you this evening, where do you actually see yourself in a few years, and where do you really want to be in a few years? So maybe like career-wise, what kind of work do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be in life, and what kind of direction do you want your life trending in?
Definitely a positive trajectory going up. I want to do a lot of good in this world. The world has too much bad for me to do. I need to contribute in a good fashion, good manner. I like the emergency management work. I did a few trainings and exercises. They're very hands-on with incident command. And I liked doing that. So recovery after disasters, working to coordinate resources, people, goods, water, first aid. Mm-hmm. Doing that type of work feels very rewarding. That's something what I want to do. I'm not 100% sure specifically like what agency, what department, but I want to do some good, and that's some good that I can do, helping to help people after disaster. it's really rewarding. So something along that line. I don't know exactly where yet. I got 6 months to figure that out. Unlike someone over here, he's got to figure his life out. So,
Yep.
And get on it, buddy.
Yeah. I got to figure stuff
Talk
out.
about holding you accountable. Come on.
Yep. We hold each other accountable. This guy's
it's
doing
okay.
good.
He's applied to a few jobs.
Yeah. We're applying to jobs. We're getting it done.
Getting it done.
But realistically, where do I want to see myself in a few years?
Yeah, let's hear it, bud.
I want to see myself enjoying life, We are kind of, it's a common saying, but I mean, we're kind of falling into this typical 9 to 5 rat race of the American industrial system. And a lot of people that we know, and hopefully not ourselves, are going to fall into this trap of work until you're 65, retire, and be too old to really enjoy life for what it's made to be enjoyed. So I think for me is my biggest goal is to prioritize at least living life to the best of my abilities while I can, while I'm still young, while still being financially responsible, maybe taking a few extra trips a year, maybe doing some, extracurricular things like podcasting, just trying new ventures and just seeing what happens, because life's short. You might as well enjoy it. You might as well just try things, right?
Be spontaneous.
Be spontaneous, yeah.
This vacation we were planning is kind of spontaneous. We're kind of like, you know what? Let's go on vacation.
Yeah.
YOLO. Let's go spend some money, have a good time, make some memories before these guys over here become adults, official adults. You're not really an adult until you start working.
Yeah, I like to think so. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan. That's a wrap on the first episode of the Gabriel Bennett podcast. I appreciate my buddy Ethan here for coming on and being the very first guest. It's a pleasure to have him. This was real conversations, good energy, and a lot more is on the way. So stay tuned. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You're here early. That's what matters. You're a part of something special. But we're just getting started. That's it.